So, Nick.
Yeah.
I heard a great joke by Super Dave Osborne the other day.
I'm having deja vu, but okay.
It took me a couple of times to get it out, okay?
Okay.
So this guy is walking down the street, and he walks into a dentist's office, and he says, "Hey, doc, I got a problem."
Okay.
And the dentist says, "What is it?" And the guy says, "I'm a moth. I think I'm a moth." And the dentist looks at him and said, "Dude, that's like a mental thing. You need to go see a psychiatrist."
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Yeah, I know." And the dentist says, "But this is a dentist's office. Why are you in here?" And the guy says, "Well, the light was on." Thank you, Super Dave.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Bird, Nick, and with me, as always...
It's Gator. And, by the way, this also seems like deja vu.
You know... oh, my God. I swear,
It takes us a couple of runs at it, now and then.
You didn't... I outed you because you outed me the other day. That was tit for tat. Now I owe you one again. And now I owe you one again. And now
right after
I owe you one again. So there you go. So, all right. Now you know it's coming at some point.
I always like it when you owe me one.
Oh, God. Anyway, so today we're going to be smoking another selection from the My Monthly Cigars box.
But wait, Nick, it's a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday. And as I covered in our episode last Friday, since
listener confusion abounds.
Since this Friday is our 1-year anniversary show.
What?
Yes, it is. We've been at this a year, Jeff.
Oh, my God.
I know. Can you believe it?
That's insane.
Since we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary show on Friday, I have moved up the My Monthly Cigar box because I have a special cigar for us to smoke on Friday.
Okay, then. Do we know what it is?
I know what it is.
Do we want to tell the listeners so they can smoke along with us, or are we going to keep that close to the vest?
We can tell the listeners.
Would it be vest or chest?
Vest.
Close to the vest?
Chest. Either way.
Well, your vest is on your chest.
Exactly. It's kind of an either or.
Okay.
So,
6 in one, half a dozen in the other?
Yeah.
Tomato, as it were?
Either way. Potato. But
let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, well, I guess if you want to tell the listeners what we're going to be smoking next week, I very easily can.
I don't even know what it is.
We're going to be smoking the Ashton ESG. Ooh. It's a fantastic cigar.
That is a good celebratory cigar for us.
And that's the thing. Dan over at Riverman introduced me to it, and it's a fantastic smoke. It's about $25, but...
I take it I'm smoking the one I already have.
It's one... No, I have two of them.
You really?
I bought two of them. I didn't know you had one already.
Oh, I shouldn't have given that away.
You sack. Anyway, yeah, so no, we're going to be smoking that, and... so, folks, if you want to smoke along with us, that's what we're going to be smoking.
Go out and find one.
On Friday. But today, we are going to be smoking the Camacho Hard Charger Limited Edition 2018. It is a 6x50 Toro with a Connecticut broadleaf and Maduro wrapper, a Corojo binder, and Corojo filler. And there were only 1,500 boxes of these made. So
these guys have been leading the charge since 1962.
As it says on the band.
Where do you think I get my show prep?
I know. Show prep, you?
I read the bands.
Anyway, so, yeah, we're going to be smoking that.
Hold on, let me get mine out of the cellophane.
Dude, come on. Seriously, Jeff.
Got it.
And also on
Sucker was in there.
Oh, there you go. Well, I'm glad you were able to take care of that. So
what a beautiful footband. That's silver. That's nice.
Well, we're going to be speaking with Frank Herrera. He is an attorney with H New Media Law, and he specializes in dealing with tobacco questions with the FDA. He's been helping out a lot of manufacturers that are dealing with all the FDA stuff because there was some pretty big news that came down on Thursday of last week, and I have asked Frank if he would be willing to come on and speak with us here about that.
And while you might think, oh, well, I'm not worried about this, you ought to be. Because what's going on in the cigar lounges and with the manufacturers is directly going to impact you and the products you're able to get in the future.
Well, but see, this is good news. And
I
had
know.
you done some show prep.
Oh,
you would know
no.
that.
I know it's good news, and everybody needs to know about it, and they need to be ready in case anything changes.
Oh, Lord. Well, anyway, so yeah, why don't we, before Frank joins us, why don't we go ahead and cut and light and get this cigar going here?
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and go into the official cutting, which is brought to you by Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri.
Our man Dan.
Our man Dan over there, he's just continuing to do really well. I was talking with him the other day, and he told me that things are doing really well, actually. You know, sales are up, and
That's awesome.
And look, everybody's still dealing with COVID, and it's still unusual. I mean, he's still insisting on everybody using that 1,500 square foot covered patio that he's got instead of, coming into the lounge. And, there's a lot of rules about stuff. I mean, technically, since he does sell beer there, they could be qualified as a bar. So that means, he is having to shut down by 10 o'clock at night. And so, there are some questions about all that. But for the most part, Dan is making his way through all of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, Dan over there at Riverman, he's got something for everybody from $3 to $100 between that really nice curated collection of budget cigars all the way up to that $100 Saka Unicorn. And he prides himself on that, making sure that everybody can, look, if you're a $8 to $10 cigar smoker, it's hard for you to afford that every day. Well, folks, I'm just going to go ahead and out him. Jeff was posing his cigar for a really nice picture, and, well, he just dropped it off the deck, so I guess he's going to be right back. So, anyway, folks,
it was going to be a good picture.
Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. You need to make sure you check it out. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut my cigar. This is funny, folks, because this means that Jeff actually had to get up. That's not something he normally likes to do, so... and waddle around to the other side of the deck there to pick it up. Did it land gently on the grass, Jeff, or did it hit the mulch? The what? It landed in the what?
Plant.
Oh, the plant. Well, that's good. At least it didn't land on like rocks and crack and shatter and everything like that. That would be unfortunate. So, oh, this is so funny. You're going to try that again?
Try it again.
You're going to try this again. He's going to continue to try and take the picture, folks. Yeah, this is bizarre. This is bizarre radio.
Seriously, you guys are going to love this picture if I actually get it before it falls again.
This is bizarre radio.
Oh, it's backlit too much.
And then he can't even take the picture. Oh, I love this. All right, I'm going ahead and cutting this thing, dude, because I can't wait for you any longer. So, ooh, give that a nice... Oh, I went with straight cut by accident, but that's all right. I got confused with my Colibri SV cutter.
So distracted by what I was doing.
I kind of was.
Cut a cigar.
I kind of was, actually. So, went ahead and did the straight cut on that thing. So, all right, then. Well, I like the band on this. It's got that nice red and black and silver going on. I mean, it's fancy.
Yeah, the foot band is really nice on it, too.
Mm-hmm. What
thoughts?
What do you get on the cold draw there?
It's fruity.
It is kind of fruity. There's a little bit of a dried fruit element to it. I'll give it that.
I don't even know if dried. It tastes like peaches.
It's sweet. Yeah, I don't know about peaches. You always go for like peaches or apricot, and I don't necessarily always get those specific fruits. I mean,
there's two of us on the cast, and one of us can be right, and one of us can be you.
Oh, you dick. Says the guy who dropped his cigar over the side of the deck.
Thank God for that Larapi that caught it.
If that plant hadn't been there, what would it? It would have hit rock.
No, mulch.
Mulch.
Yeah, but still, it would have jacked it all to hell.
Oh yeah. That's funny. Any other thoughts on the cold draw there?
Ooh, do the cold retro. You can really taste that sweetness on the cold retro.
I mean,
can't you?
Getting the same flavor that I got,
but you can
before.
Really taste it.
I mean, it's there, but whatever. All right, well, I'm going to give this guy a light here real quick and get this thing going here.
The fact that we've made it through 100 episodes without going to fisticuffs is just amazing to me.
I'm used to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think down deep you like me. In the recesses, places you don't like to talk about.
Well, that sounded vaguely sexual. I don't appreciate that in any way, shape, or form. So,
Well, I wasn't even going there, so the fact that your mind went to it does disturb me. Oh, ooh, God, that smells good lighting.
well, it's not so much fruity on the actual light.
It was very fruity on the cold draw and the cold retro.
This is going to be an interesting cigar.
I've noticed
for you.
people are started posting team cold retro.
Retro Hail is not very harsh. Little bit of spice on the Retro Hail there, but it didn't kill me.
I got a new lighter, and I have to thank Dan over at Riverman.
Yeah.
He hooked me up with a Technico?
It's a really nice Aladino lighter.
Yeah, from Aladino. And the only problem is I have singed the hell out of my finger twice now, pushing the cap back down.
Yeah,
because that metal cap gets hot.
It gets awfully warm.
Yeah, so,
and I'll tell you, I wish to God, folks, we would have been mic'd up for the first time he did it, because you'd have heard him just squeal like just an injured pig.
I got second-degree burns on that first one.
It was really funny. But, yeah, I was amused. I was
I like this cigar. It's flavorful.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with it. It's hard for me to kind of pull specific flavors, though.
Yeah, the retro is not harsh by any means. But then Nick proves me wrong.
That was me borderline inhaling is what that was. Oh, God.
Well, folks, you got me for the rest of the cast now. Nick
God.
has taken himself out of the game.
I'm dying. Anyway.
He did that last night. He was
Don't
just
do that. Don't do that.
hanging out with me last night. We're smoking cigars, and he exhales this giant puff of smoke, and the ceiling fan blows it right back into
in
his
my
nostrils.
face, right when I was inhaling. And so I just inhaled all that cigar smoke that I just let go, and it was an experience.
Oh, it was fun to watch from the other
Oh,
side
I
of
bet
the
it
table.
was. It was not
gonna
one
lie.
that I was like, not one that I was entertained to do. But yeah, so. Anyway.
So now a couple of brief housekeeping notes here before we get into the interview, which is coming up shortly. Larry is going to be joining us on Friday for the anniversary show.
Larry is not going to be on this show. Larry, so for the anniversary show, Jeff and I did announce that we're going to be naming off our personal top 10 cigars from the previous year of the Cigar Pulpit. So of the cigars that we smoked on the show, we're going to name off our top 10. And so Larry thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and come on and do his top 10 of the cigars that he has reviewed. And so Larry will not be joining us on this episode.
Yeah, you got that to look forward to on Friday.
The other thing is, I'd like to point out, so later this episode, we are going to be doing our regular Tuesday weekly giveaway. However, there will be another giveaway in the Friday episode.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. Well,
look at you.
We're giving some stuff away on Friday, man.
Bishop's getting generous
so
over
make
there.
sure you guys listen to that episode as well. And, there's multiple chances to win this week. So it'll be fun.
That's awesome.
It'll be
Winning
fun.
is always fun.
Winning is fun.
Yes.
People like to win.
Winning.
And speaking of winning, I think the cigar industry may very well have gotten a bit of a win this week.
Yes.
Well, when I say this week, I mean within the past 7 days. So why don't we go ahead and touch base with Frank Herrera of H New Media Law.
That's awesome.
So we're joined by Frank Herrera of H New Media Law. How are you, Frank?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Fantastic. So, Frank, we're just going to dive right into it, and I'm sure you know a lot more about it than I do, but did the cigar industry get a decent win on Thursday of last week?
Well, it's a little too early to say. It's likely that the premium cigar industry did get a bit of a reprieve. We'll probably know more by the end of the week, most likely next week, when Judge Grimm of the Maryland District Court rules on the FDA's request for the ability to defer some of the filings by the deadline.
So just to catch listeners up here, the FDA, through the Department of Justice, which, correct me if I'm wrong, it's complicated, but they're acting as the attorney for the FDA, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So through
They'll do that.
So through the Department of Justice, the FDA filed a letter with Judge Grimm and basically said that they want to defer the substantial equivalence deadline, which was coming up near the beginning of September, and it was kind of deferred indefinitely, correct? Just as they do more research and things?
Yeah, so it's essentially an admission on their part that they did not do their homework prior to issuing these deeming regulations back in 2016. The timing is suspect in so much as there's pending motions in the D.C. Circuit District Court, the CRA case, where are facing a likely defeat, whether it's summary judgment on a couple of counts or a injunction. In that case, Judge Maida has been very he's looked at the FDA with some, like, come on, guys, really? And I think they felt that. And on top of that, I think the FDA is just now starting to see an onslaught of SC filings on top of the onslaught of grandfather filings, and recognize that they don't have the resources to handle this, as well as vapes and of the other types of tobacco products.
Well, and you're right. The Judge Maida has seemed to be fairly not necessarily positive to the cigar industry, but definitely a little critical of the procedures that the FDA has been kind of pushing.
Sure. I don't know if you were on the call today with the hearing today.
No.
But yeah, so Judge Maida kind of wanted a status call on what the significance of the FDA's letter in the Grimm case, Judge Grimm's case, and again was essentially stating, why now? What's the point? You should have done your homework a long time ago.
So then this letter, it asks for a deference, so it kind of takes away that September deadline. And then also the FDA said that they were looking to do more research into the health impacts of premium cigars. And again, like you said, this is all stuff that should have been done long before now in this process. But so they have not proposed any real new dates or anything like that, correct?
Sure. So that's actually interesting. Judge Maida actually brought that up, and counsel for industry, Edney, basically said this is nice that they're, offering some type of deferment for premium cigars. But, what is it? What's the deadline? What happens if you offer deferment, do not grant it, but the manufacturer or the applicant was not able to file an SC or decided not to file an SC, and now the deferment has not been granted. So where does that leave them? Edney and the judge seem to understand that this puts industry in a very difficult position. Do they wait and see and file their SCs, or do they wait for this deferment? There's really no guidance document out there right now that we know of that's publicly available as to the FDA's thinking on the matter.
Wow, so this pretty much puts everybody in a really weird state of limbo going forward.
The trick bag, as it were.
Yeah, so for premium cigars, for sure. But remember, a lot of manufacturers of premium cigars also make flavored cigars or machine-made or some combination of a Cuban sandwich, like mixed filler. Mm-hmm. So none of this applies to them for those products. So the September 9th deadline still applies for flavored and machine-made and maybe some mixed filler, if it doesn't meet the definition of premium cigar.
I see. And that was the other thing that was part of this letter, correct? Is that the FDA finally gave their version of a definition of premium cigar?
Yeah, so they did. And it's not official because they'll have to do that pronouncement in some type of guidance document, but that's their current thinking.
Okay. And, it's kind of the same definition that everybody's been rolling with, correct? I mean, there wasn't anything in there that kind of came out of nowhere, and you guys are sitting back saying, like, whoa. Because I know there was that piece of legislation last year where they were talking about, that it had to be, $12 or higher in order to count as a premium. There was nothing like that, correct?
No, that's crazy talk anyways. That there's no way that they could ever enforce that.
Yeah.
Taxes are different state by state, and, inflation and everything else. You'd simply just a price point on that. I've smoked $2 cigars that have been considered to be premium in past.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, so then the other, I was reading an article on Half Wheel. They did their whole 12 thoughts on this, and one of the questions that they brought up was, is this maybe a situation where maybe some of the lobbying efforts with the Trump administration were kind of starting to gear up or get a little traction?
No. No, not in my opinion.
All right, then. All right. Well,
my opinion is that the FDA has something before them, vapes that are really actually causing harm and youth initiation. and they are being overwhelmed by the PMTAs that are being filed for that. Now they start seeing the substantial equivalence applications being filed, our firm of which has filed many of them. They see the volume of the work, and they're prioritizing the nature of the work. And they're saying, hey, we get it. You guys have been telling us, there's no youth initiation for premium. You've been telling us there's no real scientific data, about the health harms of this. Let's move on to something that is, a current health concern, vapes that, we don't have the resources. Let's find a way to gracefully kind of kick the can a little bit for premium cigars and move on.
Gotcha. Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, even FDA research has stated that there's not really good or no real youth initiation and harmful health effects and everything with premium cigars, correct?
Right. So the studies that exist, not to get too much into that.
Yeah.
A lot of times the studies will conflate when they ask a teenager or someone else about a cigar. What they're really asking about is black and milds or other type of flavored cigar. They don't sit and say, "Hey, kid, this is what a premium cigar is. Have you smoked something like this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so then I was going to say, so like where. Going forward, like where are we at?
Yeah, where do we stand here?
It sounds like we're kind of stuck in this weird spot where we don't really quite know.
Yeah, so that's a pretty accurate assessment. And as a firm that's handling several hundred cigar clients and thousands of SKUs that may or may not have to go through SE, we're all kind of sitting back and waiting to see what happens. I believe that there is a mechanism by which they will issue a deferment process for premium cigars. But again, flavored and machine and some others will still have to meet that deadline. Now, that doesn't mean that premium cigars don't have to deal with the FDA. They absolutely are still going to be regulated by the FDA. I think a lot of this is going to be kicked down for another time period. I don't know, next year or whatever the case may be, before they turn around and say, okay, now we've gotten our homework together. This is how we'd like to, what is required in an SE report and some other things that are required.
So, and that brings me to a question, and I've kind of bounced this off of other people in the past, but why is the FDA regulating tobacco when we have the ATF that literally tobacco is part of their name?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much time you have, but the short answer is there was a statute, right, the Tobacco Control Act, that gave the FDA the power to regulate this because of the health concerns. The ATF has had the power to regulate from other perspectives, right? TTB, which is, assessing the S-chip and taxes, things like that, import rules, licensing. It just happens to be a function of the Tobacco Control Act.
So then in terms of manufacturers that are maybe considering new products, where does this put them? I mean, I know we were coming up to September and, if somebody wanted to introduce something new that then, they had all these hoops to jump through. But now that this has been deferred, where does this put manufacturers that might be considering launching something, new in the next, I don't know, month, 3 months, 6 months?
Well, technically, there are the deeming regulations do not allow for new products post August 2016. So many of these factories that have launched new products post that date, those products are essentially illegal. Now, there are a lot of caveats to that, right? Many times in the cigar industry, they'll say this is a new product, but really it's an old product dusted off. It could be a grandfathered product that's relabeled. It could be some other type of variation. So it's not technically a new product, period. Right?
Okay.
But interestingly about that, there is a line in the FDA's letter filed last week that says, and I don't have it in front of me, so I'm sure I'm going to misquote it. But essentially, if you read it and you think about it, it essentially says it applies regardless of whether the product or new product was launched post August 2016, the effective date of the deeming regulations. So whether it was by mistake or by design, the FDA is hinting that if you meet the criteria for premium cigars and you are, and they accept you as a deferral, right, candidate, that it's okay that the product came post that date. Now that opens up another whole can of worms, which I don't think the FDA has really considered.
Wow. Yeah, I'm following. So, like, what?
I'm processing.
Let's talk about that can of worms. So, what? Let's go into that a little bit. So, what is entailed in that?
So, at the hearing today, the FDA essentially said, and it reminds us that it has the discretion as to how it's going to enforce the Tobacco Control Act against all products. And so, I think what it's saying is that we're listening to you, industry, that premium cigars do not cause, new questions of public health or are not a youth initiation. And we're most likely going to reconsider the fact that there's no barrier to you launching new products as long as they meet that definition post August 2016. And again, this is just me quickly kind of surmising, what their intent might be. But
yeah,
it's possible that they understand that these products are really dark air-cured tobacco wrapped up in different configurations, right? And as long as there's nothing else except tobacco, water, and whatever else you need, then it's okay that they're on the market. Now that's us going way off topic.
Well, yeah,
but I think it's interesting to see that thinking of theirs in that letter.
Well, so it sounds like there's definitely some possible positive aspects to all this. I mean, not the least of which, just right off the bat, is that this deadline's been deferred. But at the same time, it almost sounds like this question or this letter has raised just as many questions as it possibly may have answered.
Oh, no question. Yeah, the deferment is not law, right?
Yeah,
and it's not in effect right now, so we don't know. But it certainly does indicate that the FDA understands and is starting to listen that these products are different from other types of tobacco products and vape and that type of thing. And that
definitely seems positive.
Yeah. And I think they're trying to, I think they are struggling with how they can create a substantial equivalence process, which I think they still have to have. Like a substantial equivalence light, if you will, not the same type of content and form that was applicable for, say, like cigarettes or dip or things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, interesting.
Okay, so let me ask you this: since that does not speak to flavored tobacco, correct?
That's correct, right. So they specifically say that they're considering deferment for those products that meet the definition, their current thinking definition of a premium cigar.
So my question is, like, I just bought a box today of the Leather Rose.
Yes, from Drew Estate.
From Drew Estate. And it's part of the Deadwood series. So that is a cigar that has been introduced after this 2016 deadline, I would assume. So how is that cigar able to be on the market?
Well, I don't represent Swisher or Drew Estate, and Jonathan Drew's a great guy, friend of mine. I don't think that they would do anything that is a foul. If I had to guess, it's possible that it's new marketing. I'm not sure if they're claiming new. I haven't looked into that product at all.
Okay.
But
and it's a great stick, by the way. Kristen, my ex, is a big fan. I actually bought her a box of those today. So
he's kissing up to the ex-wife.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah, those are products I thought were always really cool branding, back in the day, and they just never kind of got the push. I like the design and the art and all that. But I can't speak to that, but I can tell you that a lot of folks that are saying that here's a new product or something, really what they're saying is here's a new packaging or new marketing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, and that's one of the things, if I understand the substantial equivalency, and let's be honest, I probably don't, but part of my understanding in my Gator world is that stores, if this passed, any cigar that wasn't covered under it, hadn't had their forms filed in time, would have to be literally pulled off the shelf. Is that correct?
That's 100% correct. Yeah, that would be a mislabeled, misbranded.
And that could be a complete disaster for a cigar shop that has, revenue put into their inventory. What can they do with that cigar at that point? If this is to go into effect?
It's less of a disaster for cigar shops, and I'll tell you why. Cigar shops always have the remedy of going back to the supplier, the manufacturer, and saying, hey, your products are non-compliant, give me a credit, take it back, whatever.
Okay.
We've seen that we've seen that. We have a lot of really big online retailers that are coming to our clients and basically saying, please warrant and represent that your products are legal or will be legal by this date, well in advance of the deadline. And if you fail to do so, we will not give you any more POs. So manufacturers are aware of that. Again, retailers, if they're, paying attention to what's happening, they should be going out there and telling their suppliers, vendors, and all that, say, hey, can you confirm this is going to be compliant? Now, what if there's just a deferment, right?
Yeah.
So one of the questions in the hearing today by counsel for industry was, so we get deferment. I think I mentioned this a minute ago, but we don't file an SE. So what happens if we request deferment and we don't get it? And we just blew the deadline for SE reports.
Yeah.
Leave us. So nobody knows. The real takeaway from the hearing, though, from counsel for the DOJ for FDA was premium industry, cigar industry, we don't really care about you. No, we got other things to do. The problem with that is we can't live in uncertainty, right?
No, exactly.
And our vendors want to know. The manufacturers' vendors want to know. So we can't just tell them, oh, well, we think it's going to go away. We need some certainty.
Yeah. Well, and as a consumer who maybe is looking down the barrel of a gun of seeing that, one of his favorite cigars may go away perhaps or something like that. I think at all levels, obviously it's less of an impact for the consumer than it is the cigar shop and in turn the cigar shop to the manufacturer. But ultimately at the end of the day, there's a lot of people sitting back waiting to see, what the FDA finally decides on this. So yeah, you've got a lot of elements to this that are sitting back and feeling really uncertain.
Is there the potential that the judge will just say, okay, this is, nickel and dime, this is Mickey Mouse, and toss any of this out, or do you foresee anything like that coming down the pike?
So when you say the judge, there's really two judges at play right now,
Yep.
right? Judge Grimm is the judge in the American Academy of Pediatrics case, and then there's Judge Maida in the DC case. So it is possible that Judge Maida in the DC case, the CRA case, could grant summary judgment. What they're looking for is completely getting rid of the deeming rule and sending it back to the drawing board for the FDA. I'm not sure that judge is willing to go that far. So it's possible. It is possible that the judge may enter an injunction that essentially stays the deadline until the FDA gets its S right? I don't know if you can say S-H-I.
Feel free to say shit.
Yeah, you can say shit all day on here. We're
well, I'll
cool.
tell you, I've been doing podcast interviews for, 10, 15 years, or whenever it started. And I had I used to drop the F-bomb a lot. So that kind of
Didn't you have the record on the Cigar Authority for a while of most F-bombs in an episode?
You hit the nail on the head.
Nice,
so.
nice.
But I've grown up a little bit.
That's good. Well, we haven't, so feel free to say whatever you want.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
So, and then before Judge Grimm in the Maryland case, that's not he's not getting rid of anything in that case right now. So I'm not sure if that answered your question.
So then, obviously, where it stands right now is Judge Grimm has to accept this letter. Do you see any issue of that taking place to where?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the American Academy of Pediatrics and I think anyone else that's involved in that case is most certainly filing an objection to that letter, right? Response, right? So they are going to argue that this is more BS, that all tobacco is evil, and that the FDA has a statutory requirement to protect us all from ourselves. Now, I think that Judge Grimm will, I don't know what he'll do, but I think that he's essentially going to tell the FDA, yeah, you have this discretion. Everyone's been telling you have this discretion. So, go forth and multiply.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Well,
now let me take a quick break here. Nick, what are you getting on your cigar? we are lit up here.
We don't need to do this right now.
Oh, we're going to. We're doing this. This is happening.
Go ahead.
So there's some
getting some nuttiness.
Yeah,
Nuttiness.
It's some earthiness, some pepper to it.
It definitely tasted like peaches on the cold draw
I didn't
and
get
the cold retro hail.
peaches at all.
That's because
Yes.
Roller in Nicaragua had peaches for lunch.
Yes.
Hands.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, we're smoking the Camacho Hard Charger Limited Edition 2018. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful cigar. So the reason that I brought this up is I wanted to ask our lawyer friend that's on the phone with us, what cigars do you like?
Oh man, see, it's not a question of what I like, because in the definitely, for sure, I'll say something and then I'll get some text or emails or Facebook messages or someone else say, "Why didn't you mention my cigar?"
That's why I like to put you on the spot.
oh god,
I do. I'll tell you, as a go-to, it's Leaf by Oscar Maduro. That's always here, and we're always smoking that.
we're
Good
big
stick.
fans of Oscar. Yeah,
We actually know Oscar, and he admits to knowing us, which not many do.
it's true.
So, as you can imagine, we do get a lot of cigars from our clients, and I smoke everything that comes in. If it's a bundle POS, I'll smoke it. If it's super high end, I'll smoke that.
You and I were separated at birth because I will smoke anything put in front of me.
Yeah, I'm constantly, I like to think I'm a student of the craft, so I want to see what's going on. I want to see things that change or don't change, so I like to smoke everything. I'm not in a situation where I can just tell you I just smoke, X brand or Y brand.
Gotcha.
Well, and to be honest, we're both in that situation too. Obviously, with the podcast, we review different cigars on each episode, but we smoke a varied, palette of cigars.
Yeah,
I pretty much celebrate the whole catalog.
I brands that I respect and love, or I could say anything Skip Martin does. I don't like the real, the bombs, but I've always respected his work and the cigars. Aganorsa, anything that comes out of there. AJ Fernandez, I have a couple of go-tos there. Just the problem we have now is it's hard to make a bad cigar, right?
It is.
So
Yep.
the question is it a good cigar, a great cigar, or a wow cigar?
Yeah.
And and I'm sure I've missed a couple other folks, but
Feel free to pepper them in as we talk.
Well, anyway, I really appreciate the update, to be honest. It's complicated dealing with all of this, and for us on the consumer side, sitting back and taking this all in. We're not living it every day like you are, and like the CRA and all these others, to where we're living and breathing this. And so when we hear something like, oh, the FDA issued this letter, we're sitting back thinking, oh, this is great, but it's nice to know. It's not necessarily nice to know, but it's interesting to know that perhaps it's more complicated than just black and white.
If you took a poll in the lounge, if we could go to a lounge because of COVID, but if you took a poll in the lounge, out of 10 people, how many of them do you think would even know this is going on?
And there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, it all depends, right? In the lounge, there's a lot of talk. So I think they'll know something's going on, but they don't know the uncertainty and the day-to-day of it.
Yeah.
And the complexities of trying to file an SE report when there is no absolutely positive forming content, we're just kind of shooting in the dark. I mean, we think we know what goes in it. We filed several hundred of them so far. But does the FDA know what it wants? Does it? Apparently it doesn't.
So what you're saying is the FDA hasn't given you like a list of rules or a form to fill out. You're just flying the plane with no windows.
Yeah, so the Tobacco Control Act has certain requirements to a degree, but that act was really designed with the concept of cigarettes and kind of complex tobacco products. This industry is very unique, right? It has its own process. It has its own history. And there is no SE guidance for premium cigars or even flavored cigars. So what we're trying to do is we patch what we think they're asking in the statute. We also think, hey, they might ask this because they asked it in cigarettes and dip, different types of tobacco products. And for those things that we think that they are asking, but we are not statutorily required to provide, we are basically telling the FDA, in no uncertain terms, to get lost. And we give them lots of legal reasons. And we give them lots of exhibits and, and case law and everything else, and saying, that's nice that we think you might ask this, but to the extent you're going to ask it, these are all the reasons you can get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and I come back to one of the hidden victims in all of this, and Nick has heard me say this on the show in the past, but one of the hidden victims in my mind to all of this are the economies of a lot of Caribbean and South American countries that, a lot of the industry there is based around tobacco, and the uncertainty for them and what it's going to do to their economies, I think is very, very costly.
So one of the things I do when I have a new employee, a new attorney or someone, and we haven't done it for a couple of years now, is I take them to Santiago, Tamboril, Dominican Republic. I take them to Esteli. I take them to Danlí. I take them to these countries. And we walk around, we see things. And what I really like to do, and it sounds silly, but you can ask folks in my office, I do it. When we break, and sometimes we'll break during lunchtime, and all the employees are out, either eating right outside the factory or getting on their bikes or motorcycles and leaving, and you see this throng of employees kind of, taking their break. I say, you see all those folks? And they, yeah. I say, that's who we're protecting. These are people who in some cases in their countries, this is the best paying job. It's a great job to have. They love their job and they'll work. And, that's who we're protecting. Because of that, the factories, these are economies that you don't see or hear about. They're people's lives. It's not just some rich white fat guy, in a cigar shop. It's not about that. It's about the history of this product. It's about particularly being Cuban American. It's about, trying to preserve something that is not simply a widget. It's not a product. It's handmade. It has a lot of history. We should respect that and protect it.
Amen.
Definitely.
And you hit the nail on the head, except for us being rich, because Nick and I are both fat white guys.
That's true.
I'm getting there.
So true. Sad but true.
So, one other question, and I don't even know if you can speak to this, but so as it relates to flavored tobacco, it seems like pipe tobacco has gotten kind of lumped in with that, unfortunately, as well. So is that still, are pipe smokers still kind of stuck with all of this, or how does pipe tobacco play into all this?
That's a really interesting question. So the deferment would not apply to pipe tobacco. A lot of time, we don't do any pipe tobacco clients, but a lot of that, a lot of those blends, if you will, have been around for a while. So I would presume that some of them are grandfathered, or most of them are grandfathered. Now, to the extent that they're changing the flavors or the blends, and they are new products, as that's defined by the Tobacco Control Act, the deeming regulations, then they would have to go through substantial equivalence. But this deferment would not apply to them. And if FDA doesn't know what they're doing for premium cigars for substantial equivalence, there's no question that they don't know what they're doing for pipe tobacco.
But along those same lines, though, flavor bans and whatnot would probably impact a lot of pipe smokers as it goes along, correct? 'Cause since, I'm not a pipe smoker, but I've heard from many that you get that they are flavored tobaccos in some cases.
And I don't know how much of the flavored tobacco, but they definitely have flavors to them. And in some of these flavor bans, not unlike the one that we have been railing about out in Palo Alto with Max Smoke Shop. They passed a flavor ban, and it essentially is going to shut down a business that's been there for 85 years.
Yeah,
and that's a real problem.
Yeah. Number one, the pipe industry is very small. Unfortunately, I think it's a really cool product. It's got a lot of history. It's got a great room aroma. It is very small in comparison to cigars. Cigars are very, very small in comparison to cigarettes and et cetera. It's unfortunate. If I had to guess, I think the FDA would in some shape or form recognize that there's no youth initiation with pipes, right, or pipe tobacco.
Oh, definitely.
Well, at least not for tobacco, exactly.
Right. And pipe tobacco does have flavoring. It's different, I would guess, or at least it's not the same as you would see in like cigarillos and blunts and things like that. But a lot of these flavors, well, I don't know. I can't speak to it. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. So, Well, Frank, we really appreciate your time. I know that you're a busy man with lots to do, but we really appreciate you taking time out to talk to us today about all of this and give our listeners an update about everything.
Is there anything, just finishing up here, that you would like the consumers, the shop owners, the people listening to the podcast to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the cigar industry will continue. I don't think that there is going to be a world in the next 5 to 10 years in which you cannot find a premium cigar. I think if regulation does become strict or otherwise cause some cigar companies to close, maybe those cigar companies should have protected their business more and been more serious about their business, because I think if you're serious about your business, you can get through these regulations. I hope and I believe that products will continue to get better. The farming will get better, the drying, the curing, rolling, every aspect of it will get better. So I don't stop smoking cigars. I don't think they're going away. Just support the brands that you like, support them.
Perfect.
Amen.
Well, Frank, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Well, we really want to thank Frank for coming on and talking with us. I thought that was educational and enlightening.
Exactly.
It's probably the only time that you're going to get anything educational and enlightening out of this show. So
we took a break from the fart jokes for a day.
Yeah, well,
ish.
For half the show.
Ish, yeah.
We still have Ask the Boys coming out.
That's
Lord
true.
only knows how that can go. So, well, Jeff,
how's your cigar?
I like the cigar. It's really smooth. It's not as heavy of a cigar as I would have thought. The card actually lists it as a medium to full. I am getting, like I said, kind of a little earthy taste. I'm getting...
Yep, I'm getting that as well.
I'm getting some pepper from it, but I'm not...
Have you done a retro lately?
Not lately. I'm at about the
Didn't want to do that during the interview, I'm guessing.
No, because I didn't want to cough during the interview, Jeff. But anyway...
Hopefully that got edited out.
Yeah, we'll see if it does. But I will say that I have not done a mid-cigar retro, but we can do that here shortly. I'm going to wait until you complete yours so you can talk.
Okay, the pepper greatly increased. You're going to hear him cough here any second.
Yep.
Called that one.
Oh, there it was.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it burns the nostrils.
It has increased from the start of the cigar.
Yes. I'm actually a little lightheaded from that that retro.
I'm not lightheaded, but my. It's kind of one of those things where when you breathe, the air just burns the nostril. Yeah, it's one of those kind of deals. But
well, and see, I haven't eaten today. I have decided that
you haven't eaten today.
Okay, I'm going to Florida in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I can at least drop a couple of pounds. So
I love how you couldn't drop weight for the troops.
I did 11 pounds.
But you can
drop weight. I did 11 pounds, and I was proud of that 11 pounds, but I...
Gained it back?
Not completely.
Okay.
Ish. How about you?
I've gained some of it back, but not all of it, thank you.
There you go. So what I'm doing...
I'm still down more than what you lost.
I'm actually trying to do the intermittent fasting, which I'm hearing a lot about and reading up on.
So you just haven't eaten it all today?
No, I haven't eaten today. I'll have dinner and then probably do the same thing again tomorrow and just, not go crazy. I'm not going to eat a whole large cheese pizza tonight.
Does one meal a day count as intermittent fasting?
Well, I skipped breakfast and lunch. So,
well, that's my point.
Right now I'm on...
That's my point. Does one meal a day count as intermediate fasting?
It can. There are different levels. And... If you look into it, like at a certain level, your blood sugar normalizes, and a certain level, you hit fat burning, and there are different levels to it, which is kind of contradictory to what I've always heard, that fasting would actually make you gain weight. But I have a good friend of mine, his name's Brent Shorn, and he has been doing this and looks great. I'm confident enough in my manhood to say that.
I've always been told you're supposed to have very small but multiple meals throughout the day.
There are different schools of thought.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to give this a go and try to eat at least somewhat reasonable, for the meal that I have tonight. And I'm not saying I'm not going to have lunch at all this week.
Well,
but I'm working at it.
So, ladies, when you're down in Florida and you see that giant white pasty guy walking down the beach,
dude,
it's Gator. But remember, he has lost some weight.
I'm not saying I'm going to be in, Speedo shape by any means.
God, I hope not.
Well, I'm going to wear one anyway, but I'm not saying that I'm going to look good.
It's like a sausage casing.
You got that right.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Banana hammock.
Oh, God.
Banana for scale.
Oh, my God. Well, anyway.
That's a story, if you haven't heard, you need to go back through the podcast and find
I'm not
Banana
entirely
for
sure.
Scale story.
Speaking of going back through the podcast real quick, before we get into
The
Ask
other
the Boys,
thing I want to mention about my trip to Florida is
it's not like I was just about to do an actual show note for everybody.
I know you
or
were,
anything,
but
okay.
but
That's
you
fine. No,
put
go
a
ahead.
pin in that.
Go ahead. Let's talk about you
I
again.
hadn't finished my idiocy
Let's talk
yet.
about you.
So, what often happens to me in Florida is if I lay in one spot too long, like these people from Greenpeace come up and start digging a trench around me and trying to keep me moist. It's really disconcerting.
They think you're a manatee. You just start like.
I can do the whale joke now.
Oh my God! No, we don't need to revisit the whale joke. We've been down that road before. No, I would just like to point out that
some of those Greenpeace chicks are hot.
So speaking of going back to previous episodes,
yes,
I discovered this past weekend. I was kind of looking over some statistics, and I noticed that we had a large number of downloads on our second and third episode. And so I'm like, well, that's kind of unusual. Normally it's the first episode that we have a bunch, but it didn't register on the list. And so I went back and I looked, and I'm looking in Apple, I'm looking in Podbean, Spotify, and all that, and I'm noticing that our first episode is not listed. And I'm thinking, well, this is odd. Why is this?
It is odd.
So I went into the settings in our podcast hosting service, Podbean, and apparently I had it set to where it would only show 100 episodes. Oh. And so I have since adjusted that, and so now the first episode is back. I upped it to like 500 episodes.
Okay.
For now. So until we hit number 500, we don't have to worry about this problem again. So, folks, if you went back to what you thought was the first episode, looking to hear maybe the Winston Churchill thing and whatever else that we've referenced on a couple of prior episodes very recently, if you went back to what you thought was the first episode, looking for that, and we're talking about Clint Eastwood movies and all this.
But number 2 was Toscano.
But we're not talking about Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because that I screwed up and the first episode wasn't available. So you can go back. You can listen to our first episode now. It is available again.
Rookie mistake.
And, well, it was a setting that I didn't know was there. So
yeah, how would you? I wouldn't have known that.
It was buried in the advanced settings and everything. And
not going to lie, I'd have never even noticed that. So good catch.
I caught that. So anyway. So, with that, how about we go ahead and get into some Ask the Boys. So, Jeff, we are back this week with some questions from the Cigar Pulpit Hotline.
Okay.
And, folks, you can get your questions into us through the Cigar Pulpit Hotline by dialing area code 863-874-0000. It just goes straight to a voicemail. You leave the message, and we play your question on the air and answer it for God and everybody.
You can still also leave us written questions, like our friend last week.
That's Robert Paulson.
Robert Paulson?
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
Come on, guys,
His
please,
name
stop it.
is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
This is over with.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert.
And you can definitely submit written questions to us.
We need to give a shout out to our listener that pointed that out to us, by the way.
All right. Yeah, we need to give a shout out to listener T. Smith on Instagram. He's the one who pointed out to me that I completely
whiffed it
when it came to the soundboard as it related to Mr. Robert Paulson. So
that was our way to circle back.
It's one of those things.
Thank you for that.
Jeff circled back there. So why don't we go ahead and get into our first question for Ask the Boys.
Nick and Gator, this is Bill and Daryl from Cigars, Liquor, and More. We were having one of the Pappy Van Winkle barrel-aged cigars, and they are unique. They have a fire-cured tobacco in them. Have you had this cigar, and what do you think of the fire-cured tobaccos? Thanks. You stay smoky, too.
So that's our buddies Bill and Daryl over at Cigars, Liquor, and More.
Good people.
And they're asking about the Pappy Van Winkle. I have had one Pappy Van Winkle cigar, and It was good. It was a fire cured smoke. It had a lot of the whiskey kind of flavor to it and everything like that.
Get it from the cask.
Yeah, it was a good cigar. Little on the pricier side of my price point, so I haven't smoked more than just the one.
Yeah.
And
now,
also,
I've had other fire cured
and also,
tobaccos.
in all fairness, it was kind of not exactly the easiest cigar for me to track down. So I'm trying to think. I don't even know of anywhere in the St. Louis area right now that even currently has it. So it's one of those things that I had it when it came out. It was good. Like I said, it was probably, it may have been like an $18 cigar. So
yeah.
I wasn't, running out and buying like a box full of them or anything.
Now, Drew Estates has a fire cured tobacco
and
as
actually, Drew Estate had partnered with the Pappy Van Winkle people to put this cigar out. So Drew Estate does a lot of fire cured tobacco. I actually saw the fire curing process when I went to Kentucky for the Kentucky Barn Smoker. And, it's really fascinating. And look, with fire cured tobacco, I don't smoke it regularly because it is kind of like smoking a campfire, when you're doing it.
I like a Toscano now and then.
But that's the thing. It's not bad now and then. It kind of has a little bit of that barbecue-y kind of flavoring to it and everything. I mean, I don't mind, fire cured
Not unlike
tobacco.
the Bishop, it's got that kind of beef jerky taste.
Now, the Bishop is not a fire-cured smoke, but it did have a both aroma and also on the cold draw of beef jerky.
And again, guys, we're just a couple of weeks away from the Bishop and the Gator coming out, so we're jazzed.
I just got word from Dave at Martinez today that they are working on the Cigar Pulpit cigars here shortly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they... What did he tell me? What did he tell me? I'm going back through my text.
You guys text way too much.
I know. Production starts next week on the Pulpit cigars.
Wow.
So next week they're going to start banging them out. And I asked about the band artwork, and he told me that that's still under production, but we should be getting that here shortly. And I'll tell you what, man, this thing's actually coming to life.
It's happening.
It's happening. This thing is happening. So. First week or so of September, be watching MartinezCigars.com, and trust me, folks, we will let you know when they're available.
Oh yeah, we will.
We'll be pimping these things out like nobody's business. Like, like straight up Jodie Foster and Taxi Driver. So don't worry.
I'm glad you didn't go with the Accused because that's a whole different thing.
What? Anyway, so yeah, Anyway, we're gonna definitely be letting you know when these are available. But yeah, the Bishop and the Gator are coming soon.
We're jazzed. That's all we can say.
But they're not fire cured.
No.
So it had nothing to do with the previous question.
No, but I wanted to work in a commercial for us.
I gotcha. It was good. It was subtle there,
Bringing
Jeff.
it all back around.
Subtle, Jeff. All right. Well, here's our next question.
Hey, Gator, and hey, Bishop. I had to call. This is first of all, let me say this is Teddy G, a.k.a. Teddy Gorilla off of Instagram. And I have a couple of questions. But first, I want to just say you guys are awesome. Love the podcast. Love the dynamic. Love everything that y'all guys do. And hopefully keep up the great work. Keep up the great spirits and all that. So on that note, I have two questions. One is for Gator. Gator, this is for you. So, Gator, how did you like having the Bishop in your mouth? And for the Bishop, the question is, how was it having Gator in your mouth? I can't wait to try y'all guys' sticks. Piggybacking off of the good cigar. I cannot wait to have the Gator and the Bishop both in my mouth. Probably not at the same time, but still can't wait to have you guys in my mouth. So anyway, now that we made this all awkward and strange, I guess I'm going to end this call here. So both you guys have a blessed one. And, of course, always stay smoky, my friends. Bye.
Oh, okay. I love Teddy.
Teddy.
What a great guy.
Oh, my God, Teddy. First of all,
I can't wait for people to have my stick where their mouth is.
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Nick's used to having my stick in his mouth.
Oh, my gosh. So, yeah.
That was the greatest question. We could just end Ask the Boys and never have another question, and I'll be happy.
I mean, oh, my God. So, where do I even go from here? First of all, Teddy, as it relates to Jeff's cigar, the Gator was a good smoke. I mean, it's like I said on the cast, it's a Connecticut with the Sumatra binder and the, what was it, Nicaraguan and...
It's got 2 fillers, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the second one. It was Nicaraguan and maybe Dominican or Honduran. I don't remember. But fillers. And, dude, the Gator is a fantastic cigar. I mean, it's...
Thank you.
It had... it was mild plus, medium minus, somewhere in that range.
That Sumatra really makes it pop.
It did. It was a really good cigar, so I really enjoyed it. As for having Gators stick in my mouth, I'd like to just specifically say that, for the record, that has never happened. And I would be afraid of what diseases could result from that. So I'm just going to let that go.
Nothing has swollen up or fallen off yet. Just saying.
But pussing? Lots of oozing.
Pustules.
Anyway. All right.
No, for the record, there are no pustules. Clean as the driven snow down there. Oh, my God. Don't let the beard fool you. Hairless.
Anyway. All right, Jeff.
The Bishop was actually a really, really good stick. And I'm not going to lie. I went into it thinking, this is going to be heavy. And it's not. It's just they're both really good cigars. And I can't give Martinez enough credit for putting these things together for us. They hit the nail on the head with what we wanted, and I couldn't be happier.
Mm-hmm. No, they took the notes that we gave them of what we were looking for. They made a couple of very, very fine cigars, and I can't wait for all of you to try them.
I can't wait for you to put my stick where your mouth is.
And honestly, it feels like we set that question up, with your little commercial beforehand. But I swear to God, that was completely...
Yeah, we're going in blind on these. We didn't know. But Teddy, thank you so much, dude. I really, I enjoy him on Instagram and stuff. He's great.
He is great. Yep. He is great. And someday, when we resume the Nick and Gator Traveling Freak Show and Cigar Evangelical Revival, we need to get down to Memphis and smoke a cigar with Ted.
All day.
Yep. So, anyway. Next and final question for this installment of Ask the Boys.
Hello, Cigar Pulpit. This is Rick calling from Phoenix, the better half of Talking Torch. Just listened to your Martinez episode, release of the Gator and the Bishop. Congratulations. My question to you is...
Thank you.
Or more of an offer. We are offering to taste and promote these beauties that you have created, and we are willing to do perhaps a live video or a episode that features your cigars and our evaluation. Let me know what you fellas think. Hope all is well in Illinois. Talk to you soon.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. So Rick and John over at Talking Torch, we were on an episode of their show, as we've discussed, that I think is still upcoming.
Yeah, I don't
think it's
broken
released yet.
Yeah.
But we had a great time talking with those guys.
Those guys are awesome.
Seriously, guys, if you're listening to us, give the guys over at Talking Torch a try. They get some really great guests rolling through. They've had some sports celebrities, some cigar people rolling through. I mean, they're covering a wide range there, and it's really cool. So, as for the offer of trying our cigars, yeah, we'd be more than happy to make sure that happens. Now, with that being said, there's a long and growing list of people that are willing to give our cigars a try for flavor notes, and so
which speaks to the people in this industry.
Oh yeah,
that they are willing to try it out, help us out. We could not be more grateful,
and they want a free cigar.
Well, who doesn't?
Well, that's how we ended up with Martinez. Dave sent me a message, and he's just like, hey, would you guys be willing to try these cigars? And I was like, yes.
And we haven't looked back.
No.
We tried that 45 on our Christmas episode, and it was phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
So, but no, yeah, definitely, Rick. We will be in touch, and we'll figure something out. And also, with that being said, same as it is with Teddy, when the Cigar Evangelical Revival and Traveling Freak Show resumes, maybe we need to make our way down to Arizona there and check out Torch.
Memphis is not that far away from. Well, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But, and I'm going to be doing all the driving because heaven forbid you drive.
Oh, I like to relax.
I mean, seriously, dude. I will not forget our drive to Indiana.
First of all,
You started the drive home, and like an hour into it, you're like, we got to switch.
I mean,
like, it's a 4-hour drive.
No,
I
wait.
drove a lot of the way out, and yet you
sack of
still...
crap. I tried driving out there the first time when we hit that blizzard.
Yeah, and we made it like, what, an hour?
We made it to Effingham and turned around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, nonetheless, the point is, you tend to do that to me when we go on road trips. It's like, oh, I'll drive, I'll help you. And then...
Well, not help a lot.
Then you get behind the wheel and you're like, oh, I'm so tired.
I get tired when I drive. I'm kind of narcoleptic behind the wheel. It's a little frightening.
Well, you can smoke in my car now.
That's true. We couldn't smoke in his car before.
That's true. Before I was still holding to the no smoking in the car rule, but now...
How long did that last?
Till COVID.
The new car, yeah. You made it, 6 months?
No, I made it damn near a year.
Did you really?
Yeah, because, I bought that car in June of 19. And,
that's right. I was the first one to smoke it out of the Weston Cigar Festival.
Weston thing. And then nobody smoked in it again until COVID hit. And then at that point, I was like, screw it, COVID. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
He asked me to move his car, and I was smoking my cigar, got in it, didn't think twice.
Didn't think twice. Then he comes back in and goes, dude, I think I just smoked in your car. And I'm like,
Pop the cherry.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I still didn't do it until then.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wanted to preserve that new car smell.
Is it still there?
Oh, no.
No.
But I do have that bottle of, what's it called, Whiff? The spray.
How does that work?
The spray. So Whiff sent me a bottle of the spray, and they sent me 3 canisters of this like deodorant powder. I put some of the deodorant powder in the bottom of my travel ashtray.
Yeah.
The little canister that I've gotten for my cup holder there. And I'll tell you, man, that works wonders. Before I used
awesome.
No, before I used this stuff, when you would take the lid off of the travel ashtray to use it, you'd get that musty old smell of old cigars and
which
ash
will
and
permeate
like that.
the fabric.
And it does. It just permeates. So you always had to make sure you had the cap on. Now, you don't even smell that. You smell that flavored, powder. And so then I haven't used the spray yet. I know that Broccoli Rob over at FinalThirdCigar.com did a review of the spray, though. He got in his wife's car and just smoked like a chimney.
That was gutsy.
Left the windows up, smoked like a chimney in his wife's car.
Like Cheech and Chong, just rolling
smoke. Oh, my
God.
Just rolling smoke. And then he got in there with the whiff spray, sprayed it all around, and, put it away. The next day, his wife went out there, took the car for the day, came back, and he asked her, did you get any kind of, was there anything about the car? And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, was there any kind of smell in the car?
Wait, hold on. Back the truck up. He did this and she didn't know it?
And she had no clue until,
oh my God,
until he told her the next day.
Why didn't he use his own vehicle as a test platform?
Because he's a ballsy man. That's all I can say.
Oh my God.
Broccoli took his life in his hands.
Yeah, a little bit.
Did that. So, he really put some trust into Whiff is all I'm saying. And apparently it was willing, it worked out for him.
Thank God.
So this is my, unpaid plug for Whiff that managed to happen. So I do tend to, when I smoke in the car, I roll the windows down because I don't like all the smoke being in the actual cabin with me and everything. But with that said, yes, apparently that stuff works pretty well with getting the odor out of the car. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
No, we could do some paid endorsements with. Just want to throw that out.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We're all in for those.
We're definitely all in for those with if you want to, make sure that you get mentioned every episode.
We can't be bought, but you can rent us.
All day long.
All day.
Anyway, folks, this has been another Ask the Boys. Feel free to call us up with your questions. Again, that's area code 863-874-0000, and we will be sure to get you onto the show. So, Jeff, what are you getting on the cigar?
It's I'm literally down to the end of this thing.
I am down to the final third of my cigar
I'm
here.
barely hanging on.
And
I'm way farther ahead than you, but you did a lot more of the interview than I did.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot, and part of that has resulted in a bit of an issue for me. I have had to relight this thing a number of times.
Also sitting under the ceiling fan in the 100-degree weather in southern Illinois
it's not
today.
100 degrees. I'm looking at
It
your
feels
thermometer.
like...
Looking at your thermometer right now. It's about 85 out, give or take. And, it's very humid. We do have a rather large storm.
Read the feels like.
It feels like 102, but I don't think it does.
Well, you're sitting.
I am sitting
directly under the ceiling fan. It keeps blowing your cigar out.
Yeah. But anyway,
no, I like this stick.
Cigar?
This Camacho was a good cigar.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like I said, I think it's more
medium.
I'm not saying it's mild, but it's definitely a medium. I would not go so far as say it's a full-bodied cigar.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it more than I expected based on the description we had on it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, good solid stick.
Have you done a final third retrohale on it?
I have not.
I'll let you do that.
You're not even going to try?
No, I'm not brave enough to attempt that.
No guts, no glory, big man.
So while he preps himself for the pain, we're going to go ahead and get into the weekly giveaway here. So, folks, every week on Tuesday, we give away a nice prize pack featuring cigars from Martinez Cigars. And the way you get into the contest, you sign up for our newsletter on cigarpulpit.com. And before Jeff makes the joke, no, I've only sent out one newsletter. I'm not blasting your inbox with tons and tons.
Not at all.
I do have a plan for it at some point. But you know what? It kind of goes
plans, schemes.
Look, it goes into the category of more ambition than time. Okay?
You and I both fall in that category.
I'm very good at having ideas, implementing those ideas. Not so much sometimes.
Yeah. Almost sounds like you've had some sort of psychological test done.
Yeah, right. You know, let's be real. The simple fact that we've gotten to a year's worth of episodes, especially given the fact that very early on we jumped to 2 a week, probably should be a testament to the fact that when we doubled down, we actually... Jeff just saw angels, guys. I'm looking at it. Jeff just saw angels. He did that retrohale, and he is seeing angels right now.
I didn't cough.
No, you didn't. You looked like you wanted to, like...
That is pepper.
Yeah.
AF. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely a full-bodied cigar. Come on, Nick. Go for it. I double dog dare you. Get ready for the cough, guys. Was I lying?
Nope. Nope.
Yep.
No lying. There's the angels. Oh, my God.
I told you they were here.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it definitely ramps up. Oh,
a little bit
on the retro.
A little bit.
Definitely ramps up the further you go. This thing's got some punch. Whew.
Who was it that told us is that Nick?
Nick
over My
Gervais.
Monthly.
He says that he retrohales every 2 or 3 puffs.
How does he do that?
He built himself up more than me, I guess. I don't know, but
he's got a tolerance.
I'm telling you, man, it's this thing's got some punch to it. So
that makes me wonder, what is My Monthly Cigars?
We haven't named the winner.
Oh, we'll do the winner and then we'll do the
we
commercial.
Haven't. I would say we're in the middle of the weekly giveaway.
Literally,
somebody
you wandered off.
I wandered off because you saw angels.
Yeah, I'm still reeling.
Oh my God!
Right?
So yeah. Anyway. You sign up for the newsletter. That gets you entered into winning our prizes every week. As long as you're on the list for the newsletter, you win prizes. It's that simple.
Yay!
So when I finally do send out a newsletter, don't unsubscribe. That takes you out of the run for the prizes.
The pool.
Why would you do that? Anyway, so our winner
was in the pool.
Our winner needs to once he hears his name here, our winner needs to circle up with us by the following Monday.
Yep.
Send me an email at nick@cigarpulpit.com. And just tell me I'm the winner. Send me your mailing address, and I will get the cigars sent to you immediately. So,
ASAP. As possible.
As soon as life allows.
Yeah.
I was a little slow. I was a little slow in the last couple of winners, but all of them are in the mail. They should be receiving them very shortly.
Well, if they went through the St. Louis post office, it's in God's hands.
That's true.
Yeah, because that thing is a black hole for packages.
Nothing but problems with the post office here lately, but such is life. Anyway. The winner this week is Nelson Santos.
Nelson Santos.
Nelson Santos. So, Nelson, reach out to us by Monday of next week, and we will get this prize pack sent to you shortly.
And So, Nick, let me circle back a second time. What is My Monthly Cigars?
Before we get into what is My Monthly Cigars, I would like to point out that
Oh, my God.
we have one more phone call that we need to play.
It was
So, guys, this is a voicemail that Jeff left me on Friday. And
no wonder you wanted to wait to do the ad.
I thought this was an appropriate moment in the show to bring this up. So, Jeff left me a voicemail on Friday, and I have an iPhone, and it has that whole deal where it can transcribe the voicemail, so you can kind of look at it, see what they're saying.
I never leave Nick voicemails.
Never does. And for him to leave me what is a 20-minute or 20-second...
20 minutes? That
God,
would
I
have been...
hope it wasn't 20 minutes. 20-second voicemail, I was kind of like, well, what is this? And I looked, there was, my iPhone said that it was unable to transcribe, so I'm thinking, well, what is this? And when I first heard it, I thought that Jeff had maybe pocket dialed me until this very unmistakable noise processed in my brain. And so, folks, I'm going to go ahead and play this, and, you know, I'll let you know what this is. So, folks, that's Jeff bidetting his ass in the sink. That would be 20 seconds of Jeff cleaning the shit out of his ass. Jeff left me a voicemail of the audio of him cleaning his ass. So, folks,
I thought it was appropriate.
When I tell you that it sounds like a wet suction cup noise, just remember that noise. Because oftentimes I'll be on the phone with him and we'll be in the middle of a conversation and that's what I'll hear.
Oh, I'm so proud of that.
That's what I will hear. So with that,
I love the fact that I didn't say one word to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service where you can get cigars sent to your door every month in a variety of sized boxes. We get the Robusto box, which is 4 cigars for $30. They also have the Presidente box, which is 8 cigars for $50. It's 2 of everything that's in the Robusto box, so it's a good box for you to share with friends, family, and all that sort of thing, or hoard them, as Jeff likes to point out.
Double the cigars. And more than double the savings.
More than double the savings because they have the MSRP guarantee.
Darn right they
do. On the Robusto and Presidente box, which states that the MSRP of the cigars within the box is guaranteed to meet or exceed the price of the box. So for August, the MSRP of the cigars was right around $41. So you're saving $11 on the Robusto box. But if you got that Presidente box, you're actually saving $32. So good savings.
There you go.
And you can save a little bit more
if they use offer code PULPIT.
PULPIT.
And why wouldn't you?
I was going to say, that gets you 20% off any of the items in their online store because they sell cigars and accessories and that sort of thing. But they also will give you free shipping on the first box of your subscription with that offer code.
And we were on an Instagram Live. Martinez and My Monthly Cigars were doing this over the weekend. And there was literally a sack on there. And he's probably a really nice guy.
I'm sure.
But in front of us.
He's a very nice guy and he's a good listener.
Right in front of us.
Just broke the CD out and scratched it right in front of us in broad daylight.
He asked for another show's offer code and didn't want to use ours.
Yep. So
for the love of God, man.
So, folks, use offer code PULPIT.
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 Oh, and here comes the storm.
Well, Jeff, do you have anything else for the good of the cause?
I think we need to get under shelter.
Yeah, we have a rather large thunderstorm coming upon the Nick and Gator studios.
Moving in.
So I think this is a pretty good time for us to go ahead and call it an episode. So with that, I've enjoyed the Camacho Hard Charger Limited Edition 2018. Jeff?
Great cigar.
Great cigar. So,
and we want to thank our guest.
Yes, we definitely want to thank Frank Herrera of H New Media Law. And thank him for taking time out of his day to enlighten us as to what's going on with the FDA.
Absolutely. It's something that affects all of us in the cigar community.
Definitely. Well, folks, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
I'm Gator.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe and stay smoky.
You had to play the tape. You just had to play that voicemail.
Dude, I mean, I'm going to make sure I share that with the people. I mean, let's be real. It's not every day that everybody can actually listen to you cleaning the shit out of your ass.
I want to be fresh.